Hi everyone, it's Chris from Clearly Crafted. I just wanted to share a little bit that I know about using crackle medium. I use it as a base for a lot of the pieces that I make. And I've been using more tile recently. I made some gifts for Christmas for people, and I love getting some pieces of tile just from the hardware store. Look at that, just plain old tile that you would put on your wall, your floor. But they have them really cheap sometimes. They just had, one of the stores had them on clearance, 39 cents. Can't beat that. And these are some tiles that I'm working on. This will be a match set. You can see these two go together. I don't know if you can see it on camera there. And you can see where they go together, but they're going to each have a small wood frame around them. So, I mean, that'll be for gifting for two. I'm still working on a few Christmas pieces. But, so I was getting ready to work on some pieces for Valentine's Day and some gifts for friends. I got some glass that I wanted to work on, and I was going through my bin that I have all of my flowers in, and I came across this napkin that I really like. The napkin, it's one of those, I like the napkin. I used it once on a bottle, and I had put it on kind of this way on the bottle, and I did not like how it looked. I ended up actually throwing the bottle away, going, nope, didn't like it. But then when I pulled it out today, even though this has nothing to do with Valentine's Day or anything, this is one of the rare ones that it actually travels through, and you can see it's not a repeat here. This is an actual, you know, it's the full flower, and to see it long ways, and my first thought was, oh my gosh, that would look really neat on one of my big tiles that I just got. So, and you can see this will go on here really nicely. And the background on this is a little rough and a little rustic. So to do a crackle in the back is going to make this look almost like it's on wood versus tile. So this is the piece that I'm planning on putting on. And then what I'm going to do is I use the type of crackle that I use a base crackle. Some people call it two-step crackle. There's different kinds. So this is the kind that I use the most. This is the folk art. I know this is another one. I haven't used this one yet, but it's the same kind of thing. You're painting a dark base, you're putting the crackle medium down, letting it dry, and then you're putting a lighter color on top, and then the cracks develop. Now there is a different kind of crackle. I call this kind of like a top crackle. So this would go over the top of whatever you're finished. When you're finished your design, you put this on, and it makes this crackle effect on the outside that you then take stain and you rub stain over to make the cracks show up. So it's a little different. A lot of people, I see a lot of European decoupage use the top crackle. And I haven't really tried it yet, so I will at some point, but we'll see. So this is still my favorite. So I like to use some different colors as my base. So I already found, like, this is going to be my top color because I think it's going to make my napkin show up the best. So this is, I'm going with an ivory. Now for my bases, I'm going to use my black is going to go down first. And then I have these two other, and these are all chalk paints. I get these from Walmart. They're cheap, and I really like the coverage. So, and I'm going to actually, over the black, I'm going to add some of these other colors. What I found with some of my pieces, to see a few other little colors pop through almost gives it a little more definition, kind of, it's just adds something different to it versus just like black showing through. And I usually like to kind of hold it up with this, and you can see these are the colors that I'm going to use for the base, and seeing some of those pop through on that back is going to keep with that rustic feel I'm looking for. So I'm just going to paint this on. I'm going to actually start with the black. And this is paint dry kind of thing. So I'm not going to do that all on this video. It'll probably end up being two. And you can see there's no prep other than this tile I cleaned. So you want to, sometimes they have dust on them. There's some dirt on them. You can sponge it on using a tamper sponge, a pounder sponge. You can do either. I actually am going more with the brush because I want the strokes. I want to be able to see that. Using the two different techniques, you can get a different pattern with your cracks for the crackle. If I do the brush and I'm pulling long streaks, I'll have the cracks that show up long and defined and looking more almost like a wood grain. If I go with my lighter color on top of my crackle and I use my pounder, use one of these pounders, and then pound it on, it gives it fine cracks. Not the same, but it's a neat effect, especially if you want just some slight definition. So as you can see, this is gonna go over pretty quickly. Not a difficult task. And I'll go around the edges with the black, and eventually I'll do the back too. I found some great stuff to use instead of cork on the back, because these can be propped up or they can be sitting, however you want to use them as a piece of art. I'm not using this one as a trivet. This is going to be more just as a decorative piece to set around. But you can take drawer liner and actually hot glue that to the back, and it conforms really nicely to the tiles. I'm not a huge fan of cork. I know a lot of people like it, which is great. If you do, that's wonderful. I'm just telling you what I like to use. So there's my coating of black. You can see a little chip there. That won't matter. It actually really look good. And then, not getting too fancy, I'm going to grab some of my browns. And like, this is what I'm looking to do, because I just want to show just the smallest amount of this color popping through wherever a crack may be. So I'm not looking for really defined. And then I'm going to pop in here with some of the green. And you can see, and I know most of my cracks are going to show up on the outside because that's where the picture's not. So I'm just going to go through and continue adding some definition. And then once this dries, I'll put the crackle medium on it. So this is going to just be a quickie here, and then I'll come back with another video and show you how the cracks form. All right, hope you enjoy. Have a good day.